Welcome to this week's edition of Inside the 18, presented by U.S. Cellular. I'm Amanda Mazey with women's head coach Nikki Izzo-Brown. Coach, you split the weekend, a tough 4-0 loss to Duke on Friday. You came back and turned around and beat Richmond on Sunday 3-0. What do you take away from this weekend, splitting those games?
You never like to lose like that, but it was a great opportunity for us to grow, and any kind of loss is, you know, you have the attention of the athlete, you have the attention of what we need to do to bounce back, and we couldn't go backwards, we had to go forward, and I thought the team did a really good job on Sunday to respond with that.
And when you did come out on Sunday, Grace Cutler scored early in that game. How important was it to go ahead and get up in that game, especially after being down on Friday?
I talk a lot about Grace Cutler being our tempo player. She works so hard, and it's contagious, and for her to do exactly what we needed, score early, bring the energy, bring that high tempo in our attack, was so critical.
What do you think the difference was Friday night? Do you think teams are just scouting you better? I mean, they just kind of had your number that night?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that obviously you got to give credit to Duke. They came out and they capitalized on our mistakes, and that was something that we got to continue to work on and understand that teams are scouting us. They're going to understand our strengths and our weakness, and we just got to keep getting better.
And how is the mentality of your team at this point of the season?
You know, we understand where we're at. We understand that we got to continue to work harder so we don't go backwards. And I'm looking forward to this week's practice, because getting on the road to a Princeton that's 6-0, has beaten two top 25 teams on the road. We know they're ready for us.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that's my next question. You're at Princeton on Friday. This is not a cakewalk either. I mean, no game is this point of the season, but this is going to be a really tough road test.
Absolutely. We saw Princeton last year, and they were tough, and now being 6-0, it's going to be a tough game on Friday.
All right, I'm rooting for you. Good
Thank
luck
you,
this weekend.
man.
Appreciate it. Head coach Marlon LeBlanc joining me now. Coach, you are still undefeated, playing to a draw Saturday night against UCF, a 0-0 draw. Your defense has been stellar, just one goal in the last 5 games. But the last couple of games, your offense has kind of stalled a little bit. What do you attribute that to?
I think scouting. You know, teams are more prepared for us, and I think we just need to find some new creative ways to find goals, and it hasn't been for lack of chances. We had more chances in the last 2 games than we had in the first 3 combined. We've just been a bit unlucky with the finishing. We just got to be a little bit more clinical.
You are off to your best start since the 2006 season, which ironically was your first season here. How do you keep that momentum going, especially when you start getting into the meat of your schedule?
Yeah, it's just a game-by-game process. I think we've done a really good job of just preparing for one team at a time and taking it one day at a time. Like you mentioned, defensively, we've been rock solid, giving up 1 goal and a penalty kick in 5 games. And I think as long as we continue to make that our foundation, we should be able to see through the next few games.
How important is conditioning at this point of the season?
Yeah, this is a heck of a trip that we've got coming up here in the next few days. And unfortunately, the college soccer season doesn't lend itself for extended recovery time. So our fitness levels are important, and we put a lot of effort into monitoring that for the guys and their well-being.
And this trip you have coming up, 3 games. You have Wednesday at UMBC, Saturday at George Mason, and then Tuesday at American. Talk about just these games and just what they mean right now.
Yeah, 3 very, very big road trips for us against teams that have performed very, very well recently. So for us, again, it's just one day at a time, one game at a time, and we'll focus that way. But we're looking forward to getting on the road, because we've done pretty well on the road so far this year.
You sure have. All right, Coach, good luck, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching Inside the 18, presented by U.S. Cellular.